Hello everyone. Welcome to English Compass. My name is Tom, and today I want to share with you something very personal and very important. I want to tell you my journey of learning to speak English fluently. You see, I wasn't born speaking perfect English. I wasn't born a native speaker. I learned English, just like you, and my journey was, well, it was hard. It was frustrating. It was sometimes depressing, but it was also one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. Today, I want to share with you exactly how I did it. I want to give you the real steps, the real challenges, the real solutions that actually work. Because here's the thing, if you watch YouTube videos about English learning, a lot of them are very theoretical, very technical. They talk about grammar rules and textbook methods. But today I'm going to talk about the real journey, the personal journey, the things that actually changed my English. So if you want to improve your English speaking skills, if you want to go from struggling to speaking with confidence, then please stay with me for these 25 minutes. I promise you, this will change your perspective on English learning. Let's go. Let me start at the beginning. 10 years ago, I couldn't speak English. Not at all. I was terrified of speaking. I would understand maybe 30 of what people said. I would try to speak in. Nothing would come out. My tongue felt heavy. My mind went blank. I remember the first time I tried to speak English in a real conversation. I was at a CAF in Bangkok. A foreigner asked me for directions. I knew the directions. I knew the English words. But when he asked me, my brain just froze. I managed to say a few words. Slowly, with a terrible accent, and I felt embarrassed. So embarrassed that I wanted to disappear. That was 10 years ago. Today, I speak English fluently. I can understand movies without subtitles. I can have real conversations with native speakers. I can even teach English. That same shy person is gone. But here's what I want you to know, the journey from that person to this person. It took time. It took hard work. It took pain. But it was possible. And if I could do it, you can do it too. So let me tell you the exact steps I took. The exact journey. The first thing I did was something that changed everything. I started listening to English. Not for 5 minutes. Not for 10 minutes. I'm talking hours and hours every single day. Let me explain why this was so important. See, when you're learning to speak a language, your brain needs to hear the sounds first. Your brain needs to get used to the rhythm, the stress, the intonation, the natural flow of the language. So I made a decision. I would immerse myself in English listening. Here's what I did. Step 1A, movies and TV shows. I started watching English movies and TV shows. At first, I watched with subtitles in my native language. This was important because I could understand what was happening while my ears got used to English. I watched movies like Friends, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. These were not advanced movies. They were movies where people spoke naturally, conversationally, not like textbooks. Every day, I watched at least 1 hour of English content. Sometimes more. And here's the key, I didn't just watch. I listened. I paid attention to how people pronounced words. How they connected words together. The rhythm of English. The intonation when they asked questions versus made statements. How native speakers actually speak, not how textbooks say they speak. Step 1B, podcasts. After a few months of movies, I started listening to podcasts. Podcasts were different because there were no visual cues. I had to understand through listening only. This was harder, much harder, but it was also incredibly valuable. I listened to news podcasts, self-improvement podcasts, comedy podcasts, interview podcasts. I chose podcasts about topics I was interested in. This was crucial. If I listened to something boring, I would quit. But if I listened to something interesting, I could listen for hours without getting tired. Step 1C. Music. I also listen to English songs. A lot of songs. Songs are special because they repeat words and phrases naturally. The rhythm helps you remember. They're entertaining, not boring. You can listen to them while doing other things. So I created a playlist of English songs. Artists like Ed Sheeran, Bruno Mars, The Beatles, Coldplay. I listened to these songs for 2 to 3 hours every day. At first, I understood maybe 20 of the lyrics. But after weeks and weeks, I could understand more and more. The result of massive listening. After 3 months of listening to English for 3 to 5 hours every day, something magical happened. I started understanding English naturally. I didn't have to think about understanding. It just happened. My ears adapted. My brain adapted. I could predict what native speakers would say next. And here's the important part, my speaking improved automatically. Because my brain was now full of English sounds, patterns, and expressions. Now, listening alone is not enough to improve speaking. Because listening is passive, speaking is active. So after 3 months of listening, I started something called shadowing. What is shadowing? Shadowing means you listen and you speak at the same time. You repeat what the speaker says, like you're the speaker's shadow. Let me explain how I did this. Shadowing method. I took scenes from movies I had already watched many times. For example, a scene that was maybe 2 to 3 minutes long. First, I would watch the scene normally. Just enjoy it. Then, I would watch it again. This time, I would try to repeat what the actors said. At first, this was extremely difficult. I couldn't keep up. My tongue didn't move fast enough. My pronunciation was wrong. My rhythm was off. But I would do it again. And again. And again. I would practice the same scene maybe 5 to 10 times. Until I could say it almost as naturally as the actor. Here's what happened when I did this. What shadowing does. Your mouth learns the movement needed for English sounds. English sounds are different from other languages. Your mouth muscles need training. Shadowing trains these muscles. Your mouth becomes muscle memory for English. Your brain learns rhythm and intonation. English has a specific rhythm. Native speakers stress certain syllables. Native speakers have specific intonation patterns. Shadowing teaches you exactly how native speakers speak. Not just the words, but how they say them. Your confidence improves. When you can say something correctly, you feel proud. This confidence carries into real conversations. You stop being afraid of speaking. Your listening improves even more. When you're trying to repeat words, you pay more attention. Your listening becomes active, not passive. You catch small details you missed before. My shadowing routine. I did this every single day. Here's exactly what I did. Morning 30 minutes, shadowing from a movie or TV show. Lunch 15 minutes, shadowing from a podcast. Evening 30 minutes, shadowing from another movie scene or song. Every day, 1 hour and 15 minutes of pure shadowing practice. And I did this for 8 months straight. Was it boring? Sometimes, yes. Was it tiring? Absolutely. Did it work? Yes. It changed everything. After 8 months of shadowing, I could speak English with much better pronunciation. My accent was better. My rhythm was better. My confidence was higher. Now here's the problem with just listening and shadowing. You're not having real conversations. You're not dealing with real people. Real people who don't understand your accent. Real people who speak naturally and unpredictably. So after about 5 to 6 months of listening and shadowing, I did something terrifying. I started having real conversations with real English speakers. How I found people to practice with. Back then, the internet wasn't like it is today, but I found several ways. Language exchange apps. I used apps where native English speakers and English learners could practice together. Online tutors. I hired a tutor for 1 hour per week. I couldn't afford more than that. Language meetups. I went to local meetups where English speakers got together. Making friends. I made real friendships with people who spoke English. My first real conversation. I remember my first conversation with a real English speaker on a language exchange app. I was so nervous. We started talking on video call. A woman from the United States. She was very kind. I opened my mouth and nothing came out. Pure panic. She waited patiently. Finally I said, "Hi. My name is Tom. I am from Thailand." It was terrible. My pronunciation was terrible. I was translating in my head the whole time. She had to ask me to repeat things many times. We talked for only 15 minutes before I was so exhausted I wanted to stop. But something important happened. I survived. The world didn't end. She didn't laugh at me even though I was scared she would. She was kind and patient. And most importantly, I learned so much from those 15 minutes. What I learned from real conversations. Native speakers don't speak like textbooks. They use contractions, I'm instead of I am, it's instead of it is. They use casual vocabulary, stuff, thing, actually, like. They pause. They say, and, They're not perfect. This was shocking to me. But it was liberating. If native speakers aren't perfect, why do I need to be? Real conversations are unpredictable. You can't prepare for everything. You have to think on your feet. You make mistakes. But the world doesn't end when you make mistakes. People are patient. People want to understand you. Listening in real conversations is different. When there's a person across from you, you focus more. You have natural motivation. The person is waiting for your response. You can ask them to repeat if you don't understand. Real conversations teach you cultural things. How people greet each other. What topics people talk about. How long conversations typically last. When to laugh, when to be serious. These cultural things are very important, but textbooks don't teach them. My progression with real conversations. After my first 15-minute conversation, I was exhausted. But I wanted to do it again. I had conversations 2 to 3 times per week with language exchange partners. Week 1 -2 to 15 minutes. I was exhausted. Week 3 -4 to 20 minutes. Still very tiring. Week 5 -8 to 30 minutes. Getting easier. Week 9 -12 to 45 minutes. Feeling more confident. Month 4 -5 to 1 hour. Actually enjoying it. Month 6, 1 to 2 hours. Not even noticing the time. And here's what happened to my English. After 3 to 4 months of regular conversations, my speaking improved dramatically. Not because of grammar, but because I was forced to think in English. Forced to respond quickly. Forced to deal with real English. By month 8 or 9 of my journey, something shifted in my brain. I started thinking in English. This was the breakthrough moment. Let me explain what I mean. At first, my process was Person speaks English. I translate to my native language. I understand. I think of answer in my native language. I translate to English. I speak. This process was slow. It was complicated. It's why I was so tired all the time. But around month 8 or 9, something changed. Suddenly, I started. Person speaks English. I understand directly. I think in English. I speak in English. No translation. No thinking of my native language. Direct English. This was incredible. This made me about 10 times faster in conversations. How did this happen? It didn't happen because of any special technique. It happened because I had listened to 1,000 hours of English. I had shadowed hundreds of scenes. I had spoken dozens and dozens of hours with real people. My brain had adapted. My neural pathways had changed. English had become natural. But here's what I did to speed up this process. Narrating my day in English. I started narrating my daily activities in English. Out loud. For example, now I wake up. I brush my teeth. The toothbrush is blue. The water is cold. I don't like cold water in the morning. Now I put on my clothes. These clothes are comfortable. I choose blue shirt. This sounds crazy. It probably looked crazy, but it worked. By narrating my daily activities in English, I was forcing myself to think in English, learning vocabulary for everyday things, practicing natural speech patterns, building confidence in speaking, writing in English. I also started writing in English. A lot. I kept a journal in English. I wrote about my day, my feelings, my thoughts, my dreams. Writing forced me to think about grammar, to think about word choice, to think about English structure. And reading my own writing helped me learn even more. Consuming English content in English. I stopped consuming content in my native language. Everything I watched in English. Everything I read in English. No more subtitles in my language. Only English subtitles. Then no subtitles at all. No more books in my native language. Only English books. This was painful at first, but it forced my brain to stay in English mode. All day, every day. I want to be honest with you. This journey was not easy. There were many times when I wanted to quit. Challenge 1. Frustration and slow progress. In the beginning, progress was slow. I listened for weeks and weeks and it felt like nothing was changing. I would watch movies for an hour and still not understand everything. I would shadow scenes and still make mistakes. I got frustrated. I thought, maybe I'm not good at learning languages. Maybe I should give up. But I didn't give up. I kept going. And eventually, the progress came. Challenge 2. Shame and embarrassment. Having conversations in broken English was embarrassing. People would laugh, or they would look confused, or they would be impatient. I felt shame. I felt stupid. But I learned something important. Everyone who learns a language goes through this. Native speakers were once children who spoke badly. Everyone starts somewhere. Challenge 3. Time and energy. Learning English took time. 3 to 5 hours every day. And energy. My brain was tired. I had to make a choice. Do I want to learn English, or do I want to do other things? I chose English. And I didn't regret it. Challenge 4. Plateau and no progress. There were times when I felt like I wasn't improving. Month 3 felt like month 2. Month 6 felt like month 5. This is called a plateau. And it's normal. What I didn't give up. I trusted the process. And suddenly, one day, I realized, wow, I can understand this now. I couldn't understand this 2 months ago. Progress is not always linear. Sometimes it's sudden jumps. But if you stay consistent, the progress will come. So, here we are, 10 years later. I can speak English fluently. I can teach it. I can think in it. I can dream in it. What did I learn from this journey? Lesson 1. Consistency beats everything. The most important factor wasn't that I was smart. It wasn't that I had special talent. It was that I was consistent. Day after day, month after month, year after year. Consistency is the superpower of language learning. Lesson 2. Your emotions matter. I chose to listen to content I loved. I chose to talk to people who were kind. I chose to celebrate small victories. Your emotional journey is just as important as the technical journey. Lesson 3. Fluency is not perfection. I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. I still have an accent. But I'm fluent. Fluency means you can communicate. People understand you. You can handle real conversations. Don't wait to be perfect. Start speaking now. Lesson 4. Speaking is a skill. Speaking is not something you are born with or not born with. It's a skill, and skills can be learned. You can improve. You will improve if you practice. Lesson 5. The journey is worth it. Learning English opened so many doors for me. I can communicate with people from all over the world. I can access information in English. I can work internationally. I can teach people like you. It was the best investment I ever made. So there you have it. My complete journey of learning to speak English fluently. If I could summarize it in one sentence. Listen massively, shadow intensively, speak regularly, think in English. And do this with consistency and patience. If I could do it, you can do it too. Thank you so much for watching this 25-minute video. I know it was long, but I hope it was valuable. If this video helped you, please like it. Subscribe to English Compass for more videos about English learning and professional development. And remember, your journey of learning English is unique. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and never give up. You've got this. See you in the next video.